Good evening, Fernwood. It is your audacious oddball Neil, and it's time for us to continue the odyssey of Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. We are watching episode 282 today from May 3rd, 1977. Yesterday we had an episode exploring the love triangle of Mary, Tom, and Dennis, and, well, I think we should look back at it. We began the episode with Mary coming face to face with her former lover, Dennis Foley. They share a tender look as Mary's friends look on, and Dennis is as entranced as ever. The two share some fumbling words between them as across the room, Wanda is fascinated by their story and trying to figure out who Dennis is exactly. Loretta steps in to remind Mary that Tom would not enjoy hearing that she had seen Dennis. At which point Mary gets up and tries to be an adult by owning the mistake that she made with Dennis so many months ago. And when Mary announces that they can be friends just like ever, it seems like Dennis's head is still in the clouds. But then Mary invites Dennis to join the table. Over at the Jeter residence, Wanda was tending to a plant when she got a visit from Loretta and also their wild Bigfoot-raised child who bounced around the room willy-nilly. Loretta had come to visit Wanda to see if Wanda had any advice about keeping the child out of school, but Wanda was more concerned with the fact that the child was tearing up her apartment, throwing things around, and suggested that there may be some way to keep the child disciplined. Loretta explains that yelling at the child doesn't do any good since it doesn't seem to respond to speech, and Wanda suggests that perhaps spanking would be the way to go. And Loretta hesitantly walks up to the child, tries to chastise it, to which she receives no response, and then finally gives it a light spanking, and the child jumps onto the couch and looks up at her like he has never looked up before. Over at the factory break room, local white supremacists Vernon, Bales, and Tex are sitting pretty since Tom Hartman is stuck in jail and accused of the murder that they committed. They have brought down lawyer Nat Dearborn, who successfully navigated Pat Gimbel's murder trial, but only after he got some evidence from a peeping Tom. Vernon points out that there won't be any peeping Tom in this case, so Nat is going to have to handle it all by himself. And then we end up back in the jail where Tom is, and we end the episode at the jail with Tom Hartman languishing in his depression as Mary comes with some items that she hopes will lighten the mood in the cell. Mary starts redecorating the cell, and Tom insists that this doesn't mean anything. And then Mary and Tom have a kiss, which goes a little bit farther than Mary is comfortable with. There seemed to have been a bit of anger and jealousy in the kissing that comes out after Mary broke away. Tom is still jealous that Dennis Foley is out in the world, but Mary wishes that Tom would just trust her. And Tom can't bear to see Mary cry and does what he can to comfort her, and that seems to bring a little bit of hope to Tom's eyes. And Mary then finishes decorating the cell with the sign that she's found and hands Tom his cap back. And for now, this looks like his new home. Everyone, we talked a lot yesterday about the whole Mary, Tom, and Dennis triangle. I think we may see some other plot points today, but I expect we will be swimming in this morass for a little while. So let us dive in.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman! You made me love you. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. You made me love you, and all the time I knew it. I didn't want to do it. You made me happy sometimes. You made me sad, but there were times. Oh dear, now who's that? Coming. Oh, man.
Hey, Miss Youngway.
Kathy doesn't live here anymore. Didn't you know that? She needed more room, to breathe.
Yes, ma'am, I remember that. Well, actually, I didn't come to see, I didn't come to see Kathy.
Well, there's nobody else here.
It's gonna be a lot harder than I thought it was.
Oh, wait. Oh, Lord. Who died now?
Oh, no, nobody. These are for you.
Oh, why, that's very sweet, Mac. Kathy's other boyfriends never gave me anything.
Yeah? Well, listen, I wish you wouldn't think of me as Kathy's boyfriend, because I don't.
Then how's come you being so nice to her mother?
I just knew that she liked pretty flowers there. I was walking by the shop, looking in the window, and I seen them pretty flowers there in the window, and I thought, well, yeah. And I knew you're particularly fond of petunias.
Oh, yes, I like petunias, and I like these iris, too.
Well, they do match your eyes, don't they?
No.
Oh.
But I just love getting flowers, even if it is for the wrong reason. Oh, George never gave me pretty flowers. He always said if I wanted flowers, I should go into the backyard and pick them myself, and I did. But it wasn't nearly so romantic. George never seemed to understand that.
Yeah. Just like my daddy. That's why my mama left us.
She left you? Oh, poor Mac.
Yeah, well, it it ain't something I ever gone into in detail before, but, excuse me, you care if I sit down here?
Oh, no, please do.
I feel like I can talk to you because you just understand everything I say.
Isn't it funny? I think I do, too.
Even before I say it.
Mac, would you like to have some wine?
I sure would.
Okay. Kathy left this half bottle here. She had it tucked away.
Oh, yeah, Ripple, March, good year.
There we are. There we are. Now, Mac, I want you to tell me all about your dear mama and her backyard flower garden.
Oh, well, it's, you sure you want to hear this? Well, I was so small there, and we couldn't afford no store-bought flowers, so I used to go out in the backyard, and I'd pick my mama some flowers there, and sometimes I picked her weeds, and they're pretty weeds. One day she up and left.
Well, knowing how sweet you are, I'm sure she had a very good reason for leaving. That didn't sound right. What I mean to say is that she probably didn't want to hurt anybody. Like you, You're the type of a person who would never want to hurt anybody. And children are a reflection of their parents, All except for Kathy. Oh, she never got that wild streak from me.
Martha.
Yes.
There's something I gotta say.
Yes.
I really like the way you did this apartment here. I mean, you got a real woman's touch to it. Looks real nice.
Oh, why, thank you, Mac. I'm glad you like it because I like it, too. It has been such a long time since I have totally been out on my own. I feel like a new woman. Cheers. So, what's new?
Martha, I like you.
Oh, Mac, that's not new. We've liked each other for a long time now.
But I like you.
Oh, now, Mac, that is what I like about you. You are a man who likes women. Just likes them, without all that other stuff.
Well, I mean, I admit that that's how it started out and everything, but, well, lately I've been thinking that Some of that other stuff might be nice, too.
Why, Meg, I'm old enough to be your big sister.
I know. That's what I like about you. I mean, you've lived life. You ain't no kid. I mean, I learned a long time ago that if you take a bite out of a green peach, you just get a bellyache. But if you wait till it gets ripe, you get a mouthful of sweetness. I've sowed a lot of wild oats, but well, now I'm ready to reap the golden harvest.
Meg, you mean you want to reap me?
I want to love you.
No, Meg, don't say that. Don't say that. I am a married woman.
I know, ain't it the worst?
Oh, Lordy. George probably will find out and kill you. He is such a sore loser. I don't think you're safe here.
Well, I know that George is a complication here, but I figure I ain't got to worry about him till you make up your mind one way or the other.
Oh, everything is happening so fast. I am so confused. Now, I know I like you a great deal, but I don't know whether it's love. My heart is so open and vulnerable. After all, I am on the rebound.
I know, Martha, and if you just give me some time, I know I can win your love. And by the way, I do intend to win.
Oh.
Heather, breakfast is ready. Oh. Heather. 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 Come out wherever you are.
Grow up.
Oh, well, sweetheart, I already put some orange crush in this cute little Bozo the Clown mug that I bought for you.
That's a kid's mug.
That's enough.
Which one of us around here is a kid, Mom?
I'm really sorry, sweetheart. I hope you don't think I'm treating you like a child.
Give it to Loretta's pet kid, why don't you?
I'm already giving him, all your old clothes and everything. And in fact, I'll give him this mug, as soon as you finished with it.
I was finished with that sort of thing 1 year and 3 months ago. Where were you?
Yummy. Look what we have here, Heather. Some piggies in the blanket. Your favorite. Come on.
I'll have coffee, thanks. strong coffee.
Coffee? You don't drink coffee. Heather, don't do that. Please, don't read at the table. That is very rude.
Daddy read a newspaper at the table. How do you expect me to survive, get by in life without a father figure to support me and guide me?
Heather, when I was in the mental institution, did you have a mother figure? Did you miss it? And did you hate your father in the same way that you seem to hate me now?
I don't hate you. I just don't like the way you're trying to fill in for Daddy.
I'm not.
Why are you sitting in his place?
I just thought that it would make you miss Daddy less if I sat in his chair, that's all. If I sort of took his place, it might be some comfort to you if some loving member of the family were in his spot.
You can't.
Why don't we just call it a mistake, okay?
You can't take his place. Look, Daddy's the backbone in this family. And he's the breadwinner. I mean, you can't do anything. I don't mean to be cruel, but it's the truth.
Marla offered me a job to be a secretary. That's something.
A secretary? Oh, brother.
Heather, now you stop that! I don't like that! You are not a grown-up, you're still a little girl! Now you're gonna do what I say around here, and you're gonna eat these pigs in the blanket!
Yeah. I heard you were back in town. He was the guy you had the affair with.
Thank you. Hello?
Mary, it's Dennis.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just calling to tell you Tom spent a restful night.
Oh, good. Oh, that's so good to hear. Daddy spent a restful night. Did you just call to tell me that?
Why, can you think of any other reason?
Oh, no, none at all. None at all. I'm sorry. I'm just very touched that, you would think to, tell me something like that, that's all.
It's easy to think of you.
Well, I know, but to tell me about Tom, it's just very kind.
It's easy to be kind to you.
Well. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
I hope you're not planning to play around behind your husband's back with Dennis Foley.
Heather, don't you go anywhere with that information. That is false information.
Oh, it's starting already. Gifts at the door. What next?
Heather! I'm good, Heather. From the desk of Mary Hartman. See you on the job tomorrow. Merle. Oh my God, I never did call him to tell him whether I was going to take that job or not. On the other hand, the stationery looks awfully good.
OVEU
I miss you so since you have gone. Come back to me, dear Martha Shumway. Way. And just in case you didn't know, I love you so. In my own dumb D-U-M-B, Dumba? D-U-M-M. Wait. I miss you so since you have gone. Come back to me, dear Martha Shumway. And just in case you didn't know, I love you so in my own dumb way.
Who are you talking to?
Nobody.
I heard voices. You can't talk to nobody. You got to talk to somebody.
All right then, Grandpa. I was talking to myself. Is that all right?
I guess that's as close as you can come to nobody. I'm going to make myself a peanut butter sandwich. You want one?
No. I'm going to finish off that burned up tuna casserole Kathy made for dinner. No, it's pretty good when it's cold. Can a man have any privacy in his own home?
George, are you writing love poems to Martha? I think that's great.
You really think so?
Yeah, but don't listen to me. I'm bad at love.
Why is everybody up? Is this another Save Tom Hartman rally?
I'm going up to the bathroom where I can sit in privacy.
I couldn't really sleep. You want some hot cocoa, Grandpa?
Oh, Kathy, Grandpa, what are you doing here?
We still live here. What are you doing here?
I just came to get something. Gee, you're looking good, Grandpa. Excuse me.
That's all I hear. Gee, you're looking good. I don't believe it for a minute.
What are you Are you taking scented candles?
Well, they're mine. Even when I was a kleptomaniac, I never stole for myself.
Scented candles. This must be serious.
What's serious?
Well, good night, all. Oh, excuse me, Cassie. Excuse me.
Oh, is this the perfume, the sexy perfume that Daddy gave you for your anniversary? Fetch Me?
It is not. It is my deodorant.
That was Fetch Me.
I wouldn't know the difference.
Well, I finished it.
Finished what?
He's writing Martha a love poem.
Take a look at this, Kathy.
Well, it better be good.
It is. Listen, I'd sink to any pit just to get her back.
It is the pits.
Well, I know I'm no Rod McQueen, but it can't be that bad.
Well, Daddy, the poem's not exactly bad. It's the situation between Ma and Mac. It's really getting serious.
Mac and Martha? Serious? Are you kidding? I mean, what can he see in her?
The same thing you see, or used to see.
This sounds serious. I'm going to call her right now and read this poem to her.
Wait.
Hello. Hey there, Poopsie Pie.
Hello? Hello?
What's wrong, Daddy?
That big, fat son of a beached whale? He's going to gain 2 pounds very fast. I'm going to kill him.
No, hold on, George. Running off with a shotgun isn't going to solve anything.
Yeah, it's not going to help at all.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to take a walk. A lot of good this thing did.
boy, I hope he doesn't go off and do something foolish.
He is something foolish.
Well, we have a bit of a sandwich this episode, and yesterday we focused a lot on the triangle between Mary and Tom and Dennis, and today we are looking at the rhombus between Martha and George and Mac and Kathy, which is kind of a weird situation since three of them are blood relatives, but that's where this goes. And we start with Martha in the apartment, and she's kind of in a romantic mood, the way that she was when she was seeing Detective Johnson, which was this season. It's been a while, but that was something that happened pretty recently before George came back. And she's in that romantic mood. I think she has felt neglected by George. And then Mac shows up, and all this stuff that could have gone a few different ways, Mac says exactly what he is thinking. He puts a name right on it. And this is Mac having romantic feelings for Martha, who is flattered, but also is married. And sure, they're separated, but there's still that commitment that has been made that hasn't been addressed. So Martha and Mac, well, for me, I think Mac seems to, in this scene for sure, because this is the first we're hearing of it, have some abandonment issues with his family, with his mother. His mother ran off. So that may be part of what's going on with Mac. I mean, this is all we know of it that I can remember. But he's filling some kind of hole in his psyche, right, in his heart. And Martha is not sure, but she is flattered. And then we come back to Mary. And this scene reminded me of a very early episode in the series where Mary was starting to get the hints that things were going wrong in her life. It was to do with toast. And when I saw her flipping those, I imagine they were French toast. I don't know. I immediately thought of the episode where Mary thought she was going crazy because she kind of mismanaged the toast. And then the toaster pops out 2 slices of bread, and I was even more reminded of that. Now, that's a fairly specific deep cut, but that's a hint here for me of how Mary's feeling. She's not feeling too stable, perhaps. And then Heather comes in, and Heather is as mean to Mary as ever. Now, I will admit that Mary and Heather have a really awful relationship. Mary tries to smooth things over in a way that Heather can't accept. I feel like Heather wants Mary to just be a person to her, to not try to be a mommy, which is what Mary is acting like. She's trying to act like Heather is a baby, and Heather has been trying to grow up since we've known her, since the very first episode of this show. In fact, Heather slouching in the chair, that was what we saw in episode 1. This scene very much is calling back to the roots of Mary Hartman's relationship with Heather and Tom and Dennis. So the triangle that we were looking at yesterday, this is the point that makes it a pyramid, because we are seeing this dynamic open up a bit more. So then after Mary escalates the conflict between her and Heather, Heather storms out, but before that catches the phone, and it's Dennis. Heather is on the attack, so she points out that Mary had an affair with him, and Dennis is calling with perhaps ulterior motives, but he starts with Tom having had a restful night, which I think is a good thing to know after yesterday's episode. Tom really did seem to be reassured somehow, or to have just an ounce of hope. And to hear that he had a restful night is a good thing. I think, though, that Dennis was really calling because he is as in love with Mary as he has ever been. And then Heather leaves and points out that there is a gift on the porch, and it is Mary's gear for the new job she took from Merle in a pretty large box. I'm not sure why it had to be shipped to them, since it looks like it's office gear. It probably should just be in the office, but Merle does like to send presents. So maybe there's other stuff that we don't know about in the box. And then we're with the Shumways, who, well, George is working on love poems for Martha. He really misses her. And I had mentioned, that this episode was the rhombus of the Shumways and the triangle of the Hartmans. To me, it's like the Hartman triangle is played completely straight. It's like played like a real situation, and the Shumways is played more for laughs. It's played more for how weird can we get. So there's some contrast. Even though we have two stressful relationships happening with an interloper, the Shumway relationship certainly is played for how odd it is, how weird this is that Kathy's boyfriend is interested in Martha, Kathy's mother. As I've mentioned before, I don't have anything against people of two different ages being together if there's sincere interest. It does seem like Martha is taking the romantic cues from Mac and starting to move forward with them. Maybe not quickly, but coming home for everyone to see, for Kathy and Grandpa to see at least, that she is taking things that might seem kind of like you're preparing for a date. That's going to stir up some feelings. And so George, who was working on his romantic gesture as the person who was perhaps the least romantic in the home, he's made a bigger step than he had made before. Kathy tells him what Martha is up to. And then he calls over to Martha, and he finds that Mac is there. And I can only imagine how broken his heart is, even if it's played for laughs. So everyone, this week we have been really exploring the relationship dynamics in the two families here. We didn't see any Loretta and Charlie, which their dynamics are fine with each other. That child is definitely another question. But thank you so much for watching with me. Thank you so much for leaving your thoughts, feelings, and impressions in the comments. Thank you for continuing this odyssey, and we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.